Good afternoon, everyone. The bilateral trade between India and Japan has blossomed post the signing of the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement in 2011. Japan is regarded as the fifth largest investor in India, with a cumulative FDI worth $38 billion during the period April 2000 to September 2022. Both the governments are working towards a mutually beneficial trade relationship, with the Government of India emphasizing on the Make in India campaign, the PLI scheme, and the diversification of the trade basket. To discuss the emerging opportunities between the two countries, we have with us an eminent panel of speakers. We have Mr. Bharat Kaushal, who is the MD of Hitachi India, Ms. Kyoko Hokugo. She is the Minister Economic and Development, Embassy of Japan, and Mr. Saito Mitsunori, who is the Chief Representative of JICA. Let me take my first question to Mr. Bharat Kaushal. India has 7 decades of business relationship with Japan, and some of the storied products, consumer products in India, which is liked by millions of Indians, have been Japanese. India has announced the Digital India scheme and have been placing a huge thrust on infrastructure. As someone who has put in some 27 years in Japanese companies out of your 33-year-old career, could you please explain what are the top drivers for partnership in business and industry between the two countries?
Thank you, Varun. I think Japanese companies have had a very long history in India for the longest time. The question is, and for a long time we have been regarded as slow and expensive. But one thing that is universally accepted, not just by government or customers and industry, is that Japanese companies enjoy trust. Trust of reliability, of providing superior technology. And the chase for building a big business ecosystem in India is about converting the complexities that India presented earlier to the opportunities that it presents now, both for doing business in India, for India, and also from India to other markets in the world. And India has very remarkably changed in the last decade, especially not just as the fastest growing large economy, and that what was well understood about India was big middle class and talent availability, but it's about the implementation dynamics, which has even surprised Indian people. You know, building more than 50 kilometers of road every year, or having more than 30 metro projects in the country, doing 200 gigawatts of renewable energy at some of the lowest prices. On quality too, I mean, the icons of the Western world, the Tesla car and the Apple iPhone 15 are made in India. We've landed on the moon at less than the cost of a Hollywood film. And India is also presenting, because of price sensitivity, something that is about offering as a service. So energy as a service, mobility as a service. So when you look at manufacturing, capital goods, which is infrastructure, is talking about more efficiency, about life cycle, maintenance. So an OPEX model is getting introduced. So we have to rework as big B2B companies too, as Hitachi, for instance. We think we are the largest rail company in the world now. But from rail control to vehicles business to digital solutions, we are going to be the global hub. So modernizing Indian Railway, the metros, the bullet train, everywhere you can see Hitachi. But similarly in energy too, as a service, we were on the high voltage transmission system. But medium and low voltage business, smart grids, energy storage, fast charging are newer solutions. And then urbanization is driving a lot of businesses in smart spaces, water, city gas, and elevators and so on. And then there are component businesses in India, that is automotive, which is 8% of GDP, power electronics, which is as big an import as crude oil is. So we are present in a lot of those things already in a significant way. But when you look at digital, it has already shown the path for an India championship position, not to be a follower, but to be a leader, with scalability, affordability, done with speed. I mean, India is a unique country where Society 5.0 has happened, a more entitled society has happened before industry went to 4.0, which was the reason in other economies to unleash it. So it needs a lot of enablers besides the business drivers. You know, you need good R&D, for which India is known. But R&D, when we had a center of excellence for AI, we have now started imposing for better solutions Gen AI on top of it, so that you can capture more. And magnets, which convert electrical to mechanical energy, do quantum computing to make less rare earth, bring more optimality. Similarly, pantographs and so on. But fundamentally, as organizations, we also need to build an ecosystem where risk is measured better on the transaction, and that architecture should be there. For finance to pool cash within, say, 30 plus companies of Hitachi Group in India, how do you pool and create cash flow ecosystems which bring different species of cash flows like infrastructure and IT, which are getting combined to come at one place? And similarly for talent, India is where Indian people have done remarkably well, but to stop treating it as a corporate function, but as a business function. I mean, we have got with some acquisitions done in the past, I mean, whether it's ABB, which is a Swedish and Swiss culture, Ansaldo, which is an Italian culture, Thales, which is a French culture, Global Logic is a Silicon Valley culture. We have a chance to make a new cultural identity of a Japanese company with so many mixes in India. And finally, collaboration and partnerships. I think joint ventures, and also like BHEL, we have one with Tata Motors, with BEML, with State Bank of India. But it's also about the academic institutions. It's also about the innovation partners. So I'm a big believer and a stakeholder in the success of Japanese ecosystems coming of age in the India story. We need to post some winners very quickly, because that will inspire so many of that bigger companies to participate in a more significant way. And out of the 30 years of India's liberalization, I think the last 10 particularly, the hunger in Japan is quite visible.
Okay, I think you have placed it very beautifully, you know, the kind of opportunities that are there in India. Let me come to Ms. Kyoko Hokugo. Do you really subscribe to what Paris-san was trying to say, that India is such an attractive market for Japan? What are the specific opportunities that you would attribute, you know, especially when it comes to some of the new business areas, emerging business areas?
I think it's not an easy question, so thank you so much for giving me this. Of course, as a general, for Japanese peoples, Indian market is very attractive. Why? Because the market is, of course, very big and growing very quickly. We cannot find any part of the world such an economy. Of course, this is very general description, I think, but in comparison to that kind of very huge potential of this Indian market, I think relatively slow growth of the number of the Japanese companies coming to India was the observation that we had. But I think recently, less than 1 year ago, I feel the air has changed a little bit among Japanese society. Now the kind of boom is coming or about to come among Japanese peoples on India. There are more and more articles about Indian economy in Japanese paper, and maybe the embassy also feels, but the other Japanese businessmen here are experience more requests for meeting come from the from Japan, or the more and more people coming to India to see the environment, what they will have, where they will come in when they really come invest in India. So this kind of how can I say, vibrance is happening right now for the Japanese economy as a whole. So not specific industry, but for many type of industry. Because I think for Japanese company industries, not only for the very high-end and, for example, high-tech companies or IT companies are already here because India is so well known about with the IT talented people, and but also the sector of infrastructure or the of course more automobile or steel, that kind of heavy industries, because you still have a lot of demand on that side as well. So for us, for the foreigners, from it is so very, very attractive in many fields, not only high end but the conventional industries. And I think, and also those people who are dealing with the emerging industry, like very well, I don't know, it's not emerging or not, the semiconductor or the critical minerals, or those the people in those industries are also interested in India these days. And maybe they're considering right now, but in the near future, they will come to India. So I'm looking forward to see that.
Yeah, excellent. In fact, you know, the speaker in the morning session, one of the speakers was saying how the Chinese had mastered Hindi. I mean, there were several universities teaching Hindi. So let's hope that, you know, there are more initiatives maybe from Japan to learn the language, and even from Indians to learn Japanese, because language can be a big barrier. You wanted to say something on that? Yeah.
Sorry to take the floor a second time, but I wanted to say that Japanese language education is also very important part of the to build the business ecosystem between Japan and India. If more Indian people could speak Japanese, it will help a lot. Of course, people-to-people exchange itself is very, very important. It's very weak part, so it itself is important, but the Japanese language speaker in India will help a lot the Japanese companies in India.
Okay, let's hope that happens. Let me now come to our next speaker, Mr. Saito Mitsunori. How do you view this particular market? You know, we have seen the biggest pandemic in 100 years, and how it has sort of disrupted global supply chains. So many, countries are looking to, developing a China plus one strategy. So probably this is a right opportunity for, countries like India to also become a favorite destination for Japan. What are the possibilities that you see emerging as a person who's been closely, observing the market?
Thank you very much. Let me start by a small PR of our activity. JICA is an agency under government of Japan in charge of providing official development assistance to emerging or developing countries. So we provide concessional loan, we provide technical cooperation. We also promote business to business, promotion between two countries. And I can proudly tell you that, India is our largest customer, largest partner, and also oldest partner since Japan provided concessional loan as early as 1958. First destination of Japan's concessional loan was India. And looking at what we do today, currently, we implement nearly 100 or maybe more ongoing projects throughout this country. encompassing various sectors: transport, agriculture, health, education. Maybe JICA is known for our support for metro rail networks, Delhi Metro, Mumbai Metro, DFC, dedicated freight corridor, high-speed rail, of course. Looks like we are very more for infrastructure, civil work company, but our support touches upon various fields. And the more important thing, and gradually, if I come to the topic, I regard this platform. 100 ongoing project. We every year we additionally make financial commitment totaling $3 billion, $4 billion US dollar every year. So this huge kind of workspace will be definitely a platform for future Japan-India digital or innovation collaboration. So as Hokugo-san mentioned, Japan's actors slowly but steadily and approaching India's market. They are more keen to invest and work in this country. So basically, JICA will welcome any initiative, any interest from Japanese technology stakeholders. But even before the arrival of Japanese companies, what I'd like to highlight is very rapid development progress of authorities or stakeholders move for greater use of innovation and digital transformation. For example, you may know JICA's funding Delhi Metro. We are now in the fourth phase of our 2 decades collaboration. Tunneling work is going on between Tughlakabad and Air City, for example. But while implementing civil work, while financing civil work, what we will start now is to build a kind of Delhi transport stack. Every day, the MRC has 7 million passengers. And, if you capture, the move of, this population, this much population, this data itself is really treasure, precious database for various use. It could be for better planning of infrastructure network in the city. It could be for better connectivity, intermodal connectivity between metro and bus and the rickshaw. And also it could be used, if everybody agrees, it can be used as commercial data for new business. So JICA will start collaboration with the MRC to create, develop digital, data stack, like government of India, created India Stack a couple of years ago. Now we will do it in the transport sector of Delhi Metro. And actually, we put a great focus on digital innovation, digital transformation in every sector of project we finance. Guwahati Jal Board recently successfully launched web-based application, GI-based application for water users subscription as well as data collection.
Okay.
So everything can be, done paperless in Guwahati city. So we'd like to promote that kind of thing for any project we do. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. I'd like to come to Mr. Bharat Kaushal. In fact, Ms. Hokugo had talked about the fact that there has been immense interest in the past, in the near past, like in a year or maybe a little more. Is India at a tipping point when it comes to attracting Japanese investment? Is that, the kind of situation we are seeing? And what do you think are the impediments, that is hindering more, interest coming from? Because you have seen both sides of the table, so maybe you can throw some light on that.
Thank you. I think first of all, there is a universal recognition in Japan that India is an opportunity for Japanese companies to take back a leadership position than a follower position because of the scale and affordability of all kinds of models from infrastructure to digital. And just one example, the first few metro projects that were announced, all of them had different specs. So while you import technology, but you have to do so many tweaks from even the width of a car bogie from 4 feet 8 inches to 5 feet 1 inch to 5 feet 3 inches. The whole industrial engineering and the support of the software solutions. So the industrial automation, those asset classes provide an opportunity in India where standards have grown. 15 years ago, when competitors of Japanese companies set up big shops in India, they thought India is a cost-to-cost market and you go overseas to make higher margins. Now the Indian standard is about seeking a championship position after digital in everything that is efficient, green, capital good industry. So we are doing Washington DC's metro from here, from India, which is maybe a celebration moment for Make in India itself. And the cost of transporting it halfway across the world, of course, assembled and done there. But so you learn all of that. But on the digital side, as I said, society has become so much more empowered that you can't be in a software race when you enter so late. You have to be seeking experiential outcomes which are more complete physically for the user, socially, psychologically. So you must get into things like where the payment itself at the last mile, the life cycle experiences of things that they minimalistically are bound to use. As the end of that service, as the realization point, it's a B2B2C imagination that is now required. And India presents that opportunity. I know there are several challenges as we evolve in terms of supply chain, in terms of course, even a raw material price will affect dramatically, which have no major economic explanations sometimes because of geopolitics, etc.
The logistics costs are really
yes,
off the roof.
And in a big geography, they really matter a lot. But yes, all said and done, it's a great opportunity.
Hokugo-san, do you think that, there are certain things that can be still ironed out? There are certain issues that you need to be, feel like could be still addressed?
I will be very frank and maybe blunt sometimes. I think it is not. There is not something easy to strike out the hindrance for the doing business in India, but among Japanese companies who are operating business here in India, I sometimes hear that yes, some instability or unclearness of the laws or regulations which applies to that company's business, and sometimes it changes, and this unclearness, and maybe, and also well, from state to state, sometimes it's different, and it's not easy to collect the information about how all the regulations related to that business. Maybe Bharat-san will say another thing. But for Japanese companies, sometimes they say that kind of difficulty exists. So if more clearness on that side exists, well, for example, which which HS code is applied to which and which goods is clear beforehand of the import, then it will be easier. It sometimes changes and without notice. This kind of thing may be a part of the impediment.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, so India is such a diverse country, and there are taxation issues that we are aware of. There are issues of corporate governance that get highlighted from time to time. Maybe a final word from you. We have, is there something that you still would like to change in the Indian? What are the positives and maybe some of the negatives that you would like to pick up?
Yeah, even I hear kind of honest complaints from Japanese companies involved in our infrastructure work in terms of lack of transparency in taxation or government approval. So those things should have things should be more transparent and predictable. So that is one thing. And I forgot to answer your first question. What is JICA's possibility to contribute more for for more Japan's investment or in digital or those areas? So if you look at the other countries, neighboring countries, we support, we finance lots of industrial, estates or SEZs. I mean, through provision of the basic infrastructure, power, water, everything, to attract, foreign manufacturers' investment. And we've been successful in Vietnam, in Thailand, Bangladesh. So why not India? And actually, we are in talks with several state governments. That's really good news.
Okay, wonderful. So thank you, all three of you, for giving us a splendid view of what Japan has been doing in India, but what are the stellar ways in which both countries can move ahead. Thank you so much.